Welcome to the Running Show 2010. I'm joined by the running man, Mike Bussey. Some people sort of think running, a 10K marathon is quite a feat and quite a long way to go, which of course it is, but Mike tends to take things to extreme. Good morning, Mike. You're not running today?
No, not today. I might do a bit of jogging on the cancer research stand later on.
Last year you broke 14, no less than 14 world records, which is absolutely amazing, and each one of them quite an outstanding feat on its own. What drives you to run so far?
I initially got into it to give myself a challenge coming out of the army, to do something that gave me something that would inspire me to just for living, really. The army was an adventurous lifestyle, and I didn't have that in Civvy Street, so I did that, but also to help out Help for Heroes by raising £1 million by 2014.
And how are you doing on that front?
I've raised close to £60,000 this year. My target was £100,000 this year, £250,000 next year. So a little short this year, but I think with the publicity that's been mounting over the last few months with the challenges, it's gone really well.
One of your world records last year was 7 days on a treadmill. Is that right?
Yeah, I ran the greatest distance on a treadmill in 7 days, which is 517.25 miles. I ran about 22 hours a day for 7 days, sleeping on a camp bed for 2 hours a night, from 4 till 6 in the morning, and then just back up on the treadmill in a shopping centre every day, really.
How do you prepare for that? Because, how can you prepare for running that much without getting injured?
I think I transferred a lot of my road running to the treadmill, and basically the physical side of things I found coped with reasonably well to a point. The hardest thing was the mental side of things. To run on a treadmill for 22 hours a day when the shopping centre closes and it's the only people around you is support crews. You've got a handful of guys that are going through the same conversations, it's the same faces, 7 days. You just want everyone to be quiet, just leave you alone and just get on with it, and you try to zone out as much as possible. But it was absolutely soul destroying and in the most boring possible sense you can imagine. So
interestingly, even though it's a very physical challenge, it's probably just as much about a mental challenge as it is a physical challenge.
Yeah, I think ultra racing as a whole is more a mental challenge than physical. If you can train for a marathon and complete a marathon in a reasonably good time, anyone can complete an ultra. And 100 miles might take somebody a day, somebody may take 2 or 3 days to do it. Stage races that run over 6 days, some people may find that easier than the 100-mile 24s, but I think physically you're prepared for that. Mentally, cover those distances. Know when you've done 10 miles and you've still got 90 miles to go. If you get that in your head too much, I think a lot of people will sort of pull out.
And how did the running start? Did you run as a child, or did you run in the army, or was it something that you purely started when you came out of the army?
No, I've been running and competing in sport for a long time. As a kid, I was almost about to turn professional tennis player. An injury stopped me from doing that, and then I sort of moved into running through my rehabilitation. I ran my first marathon actually when I was 12 years old. It was officially a walk. It was a 26.2 mile walk across Salisbury Plain, and it's developed into a run now. But that was my first marathon. I did it in about 4 hours 30, I think, if I'm about. So I just got into it that way, really.
And this year we're sort of a month away nearly from 2011. You've got quite an exciting challenge set up for early next year.
Yeah, I'm going to kick off 2011 in February, where I'm going to become the first person to run across the English Channel. A company called Wow Balls has basically designed a big inflatable ball which I'll stand in and run across the channel like a hamster. And then in March I've got the 66 Free Ultra in Whitehorse, Canada, which is the toughest foot race on the planet, running 120 odd miles in minus 40 degrees. Then about 6-7 days after that, I've got the Marathon Saab, where I go from Arctic to desert, about 40 degrees Celsius. Then I've got about 6 days after that is the London Marathon, and then I'm off to Nevada desert to run in Badwater a marathon every day for 100 days, carrying a 40-pound burden on my back.
You've already done the 100 marathons in 100 days, haven't you? But obviously this time round it's going to come after already a substantial amount of running. How do you think your body's going to cope with that?
I think body-wise, I will cope reasonably well. The 100 marathons in 100 days, I had this mental thought that I'd run for 4.5 hours a day, but I've still got about 20 hours of a day to recover. So in my eyes, I made it easy by doing that. I put that mentality in my head to, which I do prepare for every race I do. It's like, how do I make it easy? If it's 100 miles and you've got to do it in 24 hours, how fast? So you get a calculator out and you do a numbers game and you think, oh, actually, I only have to run. I can only run at Walking's pace and I still run it in 24 hours. So you make it as easy as you can mentally prepare for it, and that works for me. It might not work for everyone, but it certainly works for me.
And will these marathons, as you said, you can actually do them sort of a walk pace as well, but will they be half run, half walk, mostly running?
Well, I'm going to carry a 40-pound pack on my back for each of these marathons in the Nevada desert, so we're talking that's 2 stone in weight. I'll probably take around about 5.5 hours to complete the first maybe 20-30 marathons, and then I envisage no marathon any slower than probably 6 hours. So it'll be a slow trot to a steady jog.
Is there ever a time when you're out there running when you think, do you know what, I don't want run another step?
No, for all the toenails I've lost, blisters, Birken straps on your shoulders, rubbing and cutting into your shoulders. The pain is there like on the event, and you just go for it, and it's just part of the challenge. And strangely enough, why I enjoy it.
So you've set your goal to raise £1 million by 2014. What are you going to do after that?
Well, by 2014, I'm planning to climb Everest as my final challenge of basically a 4-year plan to raise £1 million for Help for Heroes. Past that, I just want to still compete at top professional level in ultra racing, really.
God, that's absolutely amazing. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you, and wish you all the very best of luck for your run across the challenge in February 2011.
Thank you.